Discourse on Metaphysics, Section 3, against those who believe that God might have made things better. In 2, he argues against those who think that the standards are arbitrary. Leibniz says no arbitrariness anywhere. Okay. Nor can I approve of the opinion of some moderns who maintain boldly that what God has made is not of the highest perfection, and that he could have done much better. For it seems to me that the consequences of this opinion are wholly contrary to the glory of God. As a lesser evil is relatively good, so a lesser good is relatively evil. And to act with less perfection than one could have is to act imperfectly. To show what an architect could have done better is to find fault with his work. This opinion is also contrary to the sacred scripture, which assures us of the goodness of God's works. For if their view were sufficient, then since the series of imperfections descends to infinity, God's works would always have been good in comparison with those less perfect, no matter how he created them. But something is hardly praiseworthy if it can be praised only in this way. I also believe that a great many passages from sacred scripture and the Holy Fathers will be found favoring my opinion, but scarcely any will be found favoring the opinion of these moderns, an opinion which is, in my judgment, unknown to all antiquity, and which is based only on the inadequate knowledge we have of the general harmony of the universe and of the hidden reasons for God's conduct. This enables us to judge audaciously that many things could have been rendered better. Besides, these moderns insist on certain dubious subtleties, for they imagine that nothing is so perfect that there is not something more perfect. This is an error. They also believe that in this way they are able to safeguard God's freedom, as though it were not freedom of the highest sort to act in perfection, following sovereign reason. For to believe that God does something without having any reason for his will, overlooking the fact that this seems impossible, is an opinion which conforms little to his glory. Let us assume, for example, that God chooses between A and B, and that he takes A without having any reason to prefer it to B. Arbitrarily, right? I say that this action of God is at the very least not praiseworthy. For all praise must be based on some reason, and by hypothesis there is none here. Instead, I hold that God does nothing for which he does not deserve to be glorified. Thanks. Hey, give me some questions.